Can I explain to you why exactly the 1/1 pirate is crazy now? Yeah, your opponent starts at 27 HP and you start with a 29 card deck. Having a 29 card deck is better than having a 30 card deck, and your opponent starting with 27 life when you're playing an aggro deck is ridiculously good. The 1/1 pirate isn't crazy, it's good though. No, it's absolutely insane. It is without a doubt the most busted card that got printed. It's not even close. It's not even close. Like, the reason that I think that you might say that, or somebody might say that, I don't mean this as like an insult to like you, so don't take it this way, but the reason that I say that somebody might say that and be like, it's just a 1/1 for 1, like whatever, like that's not a big deal. It is. Because the power level on a free card that starts your opponent at roughly 27 HP and you with a 29 card deck for free is insane. And when you compare it to like other cards, you're like, well, it's not Dr. Boom, it's not Yogg, it's not flashy. It doesn't win the game by itself. The fact that it costs 1 mana makes it infinitely more like powerful, like per the scale. Like, it's just, like, the power level of that card for its mana cost, or their lack of, absolutely disgusting. So, okay. Alright. Game theory talk for a moment. So, tracking here is, if any of you guys have ever played Magic, tracking is Ponder-esque, right? Tracking, in theory, is absolutely busted. When I started this game, tracking was busted. Tracking costs mana, sure, but it costs 1. 1 mana to cycle is absurd. As we saw when Shiv costed 1. When Shiv used to cost 1, it immediately got nerfed. Like, 1 mana is fine. 1 mana cantrips are good. Ponder, Preordain, Brainstorm, these are all cards in Magic that are absolutely bonkers. Any Magic player knows how strong Ponder, Preordain, and Brainstorm are. The Sky one. Yeah. Unless I just listed it. Anyways, regardless. Tracking, in theory, from a Magic aspect is bonkers. But the reason that Hunter doesn't need it is because Hearthstone is a very, yeah, Serum Visions, thank you. Hearthstone is a very tempo-based game. If you miss a beat in Hearthstone, you run the risk of losing the game. And for that matter, or for that reasoning, Hunters tend to play things that they can do on curve, and they'd rather just play a minion than play tracking. If Hunter had like a more like control-esque deck, tracking is ridiculously good, right? But they don't have a control deck. They have an aggro deck which needs to play on curve and not miss a single beat. Hunter does not have good card draw. They don't have, Arcane Intellect and stuff like that draws multiple cards. Tracking kind of does, and it's good for what it does. But because you're like, Hunter essentially scraps the whole idea of card value and cycling for a very consistent small package of cards that they go, here's my hand, I've drawn these cards, I'm going to play them on curve, and I pray to God that that gets there. If that does not get there, I do not have the card drawing resources to potentially go the distance. It's all about, for Hunter, it is 100% about curve. Hearthstone pushes that, and Hunter absolutely is the epitome of that. So yeah, there's that. Mini rant over. Hopefully that kind of explains why thinning your deck, like the idea of thinning your deck and why patches is really good for that is because in any card game, if you told me that I could have a 30 card deck in Hearthstone or I could have anything up to a 60 card deck, I would never play anything over 30 cards, ever. Like, maybe every once in a while you might have a 31 card deck. In Magic that popped up very rarely, unless we're talking about Battle of Wits. But outside of Battle of Wits, at most a Magic deck went from 60 cards to 61. And even that was almost a cardinal sin. But it happened very rarely if like you needed to squeeze in a land or something. Tracking is still Crazygasm, I agree. It just doesn't have the right cards to make it good. So yeah, you always want to play with the bare minimum cards, and Patches removes a card from your deck, making it to where the majority of the time, unless you draw Patches, which happens like, 1 out of 4 games early enough, he's starting you off with a 29 card deck. A 29 card deck is better than a 30 card deck because you have a slightly higher concentration of power. That slightly higher is, yes, it's... Some people might see it as insignificant, but if I'm a competitive player, I'm playing for inches. Every little marginal increase that I can have over another player is a gain. Those gains do add up. They're kind of the same thing, Undead, yeah. Right. Tracking would absolutely see more play in other classes. How many Shadow Ragers are played? I played 2.